Hi, my name's Leanne Bridges, and I'm a transformation coach and guide. And I have been wanting to come on and talk a little bit about what happened last week with the assassination of a prominent figure. And I really wanted to take some time to go within to absorb what's happening. Um, and take some time before I came back and made a comment about it. But I think it's really important to make a comment, um, if only there it is to help with people's feeling of peace and ease, if that's possible at this time. So I just want to first acknowledge the pain and the chaos that's kind of ensued since then, from all sides, whether it's somebody that you had a fondness for, or someone you did not, or didn't even know. There's quite a few Canadians in particular didn't know this gentleman. And and of course, there's so much chaos and tragedy that's going on in the world every day, with thousands of people losing their life. So this is not just one thing, but the power of the impact of it was significant. So that's why I wanted to say something today about it. Um, so I recognize it's, very much filled with a lot of emotions, and that's why I've taken some time before I wanted to say something, not only for my own emotions, but for the collective, because it was very raw when it happened, and still it's very much in the collective, the social media, and the comments. And I actually just recently saw something where one of the prominent leaders in the United States said something that I actually disagree with quite a lot. As much as I actually admire him in some ways, I disagree in another. And that was that we can't find any kind of common ground in unity within ourselves, all of us from our different perspectives. That's the really one thing that I want to come on and talk about today. And that's that we are in a threshold moment. Many of us feel like that was a threshold moment, a moment that a shot that rang around the world, and ensuing reactions and protests and all sorts of different things that have come as a result of that. And that's something, thresholds, working on where people are in their lives, where they want to go, and that sense that there's something coming through is something that I specialize in. I specialize on with individuals. But one of the things that I've learned over the years so much is the connection between our inner work, our personal lives, our personal emotions, psychology, reactions in the world have an impact, a ripple impact on the collective. And there's a saying, as above, so below. So with the larger, we are all cells of the larger collective of the world. And so what we do and how we think has an impact, and that what's going on in the outer also has an impact on us. As you imagine a cell, if the larger being is not being nurturing the body with thoughts, food, energy, movement, then the cell can start to become um, even cancerous, start to become ill, cancerous, and radicalized. What is cancer cells? A radical. It goes away from the wholeness, right? So this is the same with us as a human population, as an Earth population. We are part of the whole. And so what any individual does can have a greater or lesser impact, but it does will and will have an impact on us. So how we react and think about this is all very personal, and everyone has the right to it. And what I'm kind of inviting people to imagine something possibly greater coming from this. And that's where I lead all of my clients is thresholds, whether it be a part of your life where, in my case, I lost my husband, and my life changed. It could be your work, it could be so many different things where your life gets thrown into chaos. it's an opportunity for us to spiral down or an opportunity for us to take this and go higher and further. And that's what all thresholds have the potential for. They are portals to possibilities or for real challenges and problems and messes and getting worse and worse. And truly, we're at right now, whether it has to do with this one incident or many, many, many incidences and different things that have happened up until now, we're very much at that crossroads of our humanity, of what's possible, as well as um, what's possible in a, I guess, in a negative way, you know. And so a lot of people you'll see on social media will be talking about the things that could happen and how we could actually go into chaos, whether it be in the one country or across the ripples across the world. And of course, that can happen, and that may happen as well. But from that, we one of the things we know over and over and over is from chaos comes great potential. From the mud comes the lotus. From the death of my husband came my life purpose to help others. Each instance, each threshold has a potential for good. And so much of whether it goes up or goes down has to do with us, how we look at it, how we react to it, how we sit with it, the energy we hold around everything. So if we can see the possibility that this instance, all the things that are happening are much less about the other is wrong and I'm right, then can we see that this is all part of an unraveling of things that haven't worked for us in the past and to try to find the nuggets within that. And I'll give you an example. Um, for me, I've, you know, if I think about left and right and up and it seems like politically, it seems like such a crazy concept for me. There are ideas within every person, within every group of people that I'll resonate with or not. And at some point in my life, I'll resonate, and other points I may not as I change and evolve. And to be stuck in one perspective seems to me to negate our potential of wholeness as a being, where we can hold things that maybe once we thought were right and no longer do, where we never thought that was right, may one day may see it that way, or where we can see the polarity in it and see how people can see things a certain way, get to become view things a certain way. And so when we look at people who all of us have so much in common, we want everybody on this planet wants to have peace, wants to live abundantly connected with love, have a life and a future for our children, express ourselves creatively. Every single one of us wants to do that. It's how we look at and how we've been programmed to look at things. More importantly, is we put on these lenses and we look at things. And if we can take off the lens for a moment and look at the other's perspective, right? Is it possible that we can find some common ground? Now, maybe some of you out there will say, there's no way we can ever find common ground, you know. Well, look at history. Look at the people who were in the world wars, who were our foes, became our friends. This happens all the time. There's this clash, and then there's the potential for healing and the potential to see the beauty in each. And I invite you to see that, to turn off the TV. The TV is programming. It continues. The news continues. It doesn't matter whether it's Fox News or MSNBC or CNN or CBC or CTV. It's complete programming. It's programming for the sponsors, it's programming for governments, it's programming for so much. And it doesn't allow us when we watch that to see the wholeness. Instead, speak to, go have lunch or coffee with someone who has a different political view, a different perspective than you, and speak to them. Most likely, they won't be like typing all these horrible things and how they hate the left or they hate the right or whatever. They'll actually, they might have emotion, but can we even connect with each other without all the emotion coming up? And that really, when we cannot do that, it really shows how we are we're so into the game, we're so into the matrix that we can't see the broader picture. That in a way we have been played, whether it's again through controlled media, through businesses that have agendas to try to suppress information, control information, and control the people who supply the information. We realize that we have been played when we can't see another person for their humanity, even if they have a different perspective than us, then we've been played. When we feel that we want to celebrate them, their demise, then we've been played. When we want to cancel someone else who's expressing their perspective, even when they're expressing their perspective of disliking somebody, then we've been played. But can we see the humanity in them? Can we see how they've been played? Can we see how all of us are players and all of us from the day we were born have been programmed? And so the work that I've been doing over the last, say, 15 years since the loss of my husband was what I call soul remembrance, remembering beyond all the programming who I am, layer by layer by layer by layer. Who knows how many more layers I have and how many more layers I can take off this lifetime and many lifetimes to go. But what I have seen is with a removal of certain layers and seeing things, it's opened me up to one thing, is that I don't know the truth of anything that I see in social media or media 100%. I don't know, I can't know for sure anything. But what I can do is look at what really resonates with me. What is it that is aligned with my truth today? Because my truth could change tomorrow. Who I was at 20 is different than who I was at 40 and who I am at 60 and who I'll be again at 80. And can I have compassion for another who doesn't have the same truth as me? Because like me, I've evolved and changed. They are too on their path of evolving and changing. And can we see that these big collective experiences that are happening right now are part of that threshold that the planet and humanity is on right now? We know that we have not been, we can't sustain ourselves the way we have been through wars, through destruction of our beautiful, beautiful planet, through living a life of a 9 to 5, soulless work that so many of us have had to do, only to amass a little bit of money to eke out so that we can spend money in retirement. Like this, these ways of working, these ways of learning, these ways of contributing, these ways of walking the planet are no longer serving us. And that's what's being called for us to look at. And the warring, the fighting, the divisiveness is really just a reflection of all of our inner worlds. So if we can find peace within ourselves, when we can truly find compassion for the other side, what possible opportunities could come? I even recommend, if you can, try to watch with an objective perspective, whether it be, I said, turn off the TV, the news. There will always be, if you watch the other perspective, then you know to be another news network, another social media network, something like that, and just watch. Try to be objective. Try not to get triggered if you can. And if you could see the nugget of truth and where their perspective comes from. You know, I recently heard about how the this idea that even evil, what we perceive evil people to be, don't think of themselves as evil. And when you look at the stories and the archetypes of evil and stuff, the evil villain usually thinks they're doing something for a greater good. So if we can even just take that concept, so most people on the planet today are good people. They want their children to grow up. They want just some basic necessities and to express themselves and their gifts. But they get through the programming what we can conceive really lost on the path. And when we can look at them the way the greats like Jesus and Buddha and so forth saw everyone, their true humanity, their truth of who they are, and see that maybe they've just got disconnected, like that cell in our body, from the really flow of life, and have need more holistic, more love, more kindness, more connection back. And of course, many will say, no, they're lost. There's no way. The possibility. And that's okay. That's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is only to ourselves and how we manage through these things. But with a little kindness, a little compassion, and meeting people in real world, sitting down with them, listening to them, can we really find where there is that common ground? And if we can see a perspective that even when things seem to be breaking down and we think that it's the end of the world, it's the beginning of a new world for us. And we get to create what that new world is. I hope there's something in there here for you. And if this wasn't for you, that's okay too. And I have complete, compassion for wherever you are in your path and your feeling at this moment right now. Um, it really truly is a very difficult time, but we're not meant to walk it alone. We're meant to walk it together. So I send you love and hope for your peace, your abundance, you awakening to your greatest potential. Namaste.